Time travel, the eternal loop. Hello everyone. Have you ever heard about time travel? My advice to you is, if you ever have the chance to travel through time, do not go like I did. Now, I will tell you the story of time travel and the eternal loop that I, myself, am trapped in. Please listen until the end, and you will understand. My name is Ele Anhatu, born on July 27, 1993. This year, I am 33 years old. Currently, I am inside a prison cell with 4 walls. I have been in this prison for 13 years. The reason I fell into this life of crime is because I robbed a bank when I was 20 years old. Due to gambling and an addiction to gaming, spending my days playing and living recklessly. My hometown is in a small state in the US. The people there are very poor, just barely getting by. I dropped out of school very early, at 17 years old, and stepped into life to make a living. In the first year, I worked for a meager salary. I worked just to survive day by day. One day, some co-workers at my workplace took me to a casino to play. At first, I won big a few times, but later, I lost continuously. Over 3 years, I had to mortgage my house and land titles because I wanted to win back the money I had lost. I placed one final bet, putting all the money I had on the line, hoping to get back my house and pay off the borrowed money. But life is not a dream. My parents had to live under bridges, in garbage dumps, or abandoned areas. I hid in dark alleys or train stations, sitting in a dark, sad corner because of what I had caused my parents and myself. My thoughts became desperate, and I decided to take a risk and rob a bank. I thought, even if I get caught, at least my parents would have a place to stay. So, I decided to take that chance. 5 days before that, while I was sitting in a dark corner, a man appeared. He was over 30 years old, wearing an orange suit, looking quite weary. I couldn't see his face clearly, because he covered it with a scarf wrapped around his head. He said to me, "Hey young man, you are in debt, and need to win it back, right? I will help you." I asked, "How do you know?" He hesitated for a moment, and then said, "Looking at you sitting in this dark, sad corner, only someone in debt who has lost everything would look like this." I asked, "Can you really help me win it back?" He said, "Of course. Now, I need you to have $10 to go with me." I replied, "I don't even have $1 in my pocket. Where can I get $10? He said, "Don't you still have that old, rusty bicycle over there? Since you're the only one here, that bike must be yours. Sell it, and we will win back the money you lost." I thought to myself that I had nothing left to lose, so I tried it once. So, he and I went to sell the bike. We sold it for $12. After that, we went to the casino to bet. He told me, "Hey kid, do exactly as I tell you." He told me where to bet, and I placed it right there. I won every single time. Not a single loss. It was a total victory. Bets doubled, multiplied by 10, by 100, until the money was countless. Before the next round, he looked at me and said, "That's enough, young man. Go back and pay your debts." So, I walked out of the casino with him. I intended to invite him for a few drinks to thank him for helping me win enough money to pay off my debts and live comfortably for the rest of my life. I felt so lucky. Just as I turned to invite him, a flash of light appeared and sucked him away. As he was being sucked in, he said to me, "Pay off all your debts and start your life over. Live meaningfully, contribute to society, and help others." Right after he said that, he vanished in that light. I saw that and had to go home. I was so happy with the money. I planned to run back and tell my parents the good news. But suddenly, it began to rain heavily. I ran to the train station to wait for the rain to stop. At the station, I couldn't sleep because of the money. I kept taking it out to look at it. Suddenly, the money began to fade and then disappeared completely. I tried to hold on to it, but it was useless. I was devastated and in total despair. In the storm, I ran to find the man again, but I searched and could never find him. I was in a state of having it, then losing it, which drove me to think about robbing the bank one more time. I thought it was the best solution. Now, there was no other option. So, from that night until 5 days later, I began to rob. But I was caught immediately after the robbery and accidentally injured a staff member severely. Everything failed, completely. In the end, the court sentenced me for robbery and attempted murder. Life sentence. That is why I have been in this prison for 13 years now. My parents have never visited me. I think they might have passed away early from having no home or food. In prison, just like any other day, I do whatever the cell leader says. One night, as I lay there brooding over my guilt, a light suddenly flashed from the wall. I recognized it as the light from 13 years ago. It was the light that sucked the man away. This time, the man stepped out of that light, but he looked very old, around 50 years old, still in the orange suit, with the scarf over his face. I said, "It's you, isn't it? Why couldn't I find you?" He said, "You can't find me, only I can find you. Now I am here to give you the way I found you." I asked him, "What way?" He took out a very strange, ancient watch from his pocket. It didn't look like a normal watch. It had the date, month, and year on its face surrounded by Roman numerals, with 3 adjustment buttons in order, 1, 2, and 3. He held it up and said, "Here, kid, this is a time travel watch. Take it and go back to the past to fix your mistakes. Button 1 is for the past. Just turn it to the date and time you want to return to and press it. Button 2 is for your present, used when you want to return immediately without doing anything in the past or future. Button 3 is for the future, but it works the same as button 1, only you are allowed to see the future of your present. Also, when you go to the past or future, you can only stay for 7 hours. Any longer, and you will be forced back to the present. Now go, fix your mistakes. I'm leaving." Then he vanished into the light, leaving me with the watch. I thought that going back to win at the casino again might work. So, I turned button 1 to 5 days before the robbery. I pressed it. A light flashed. I stepped through, and found myself in a familiar forest, about 500 meters from my house. As I got closer, I saw police tape everywhere and a sign saying property seized. Some officers saw me and shouted, "Hey you, why are you wearing that? Stop for inspection." I was scared and ran away. Since I knew the forest well, I escaped them. I realized I was still wearing my prison uniform, so I looked for clothes, but only found a scarf. I wrapped it around my face and shoulders, then hid in a dark corner. I found my past self at the station. The plan to sell the bike for $12 and win at the casino happened again. As I left the casino, my 7 hours were up, and the portal sucked me back. I told my younger self the same thing: live well, help society, help people. Then I was pulled back to the present, but I was still in prison. I wondered, I paid the debt and saved the house, so why am I still here? I should be out there happy with my family. I decided to go back again and again to fix it, but the result was always the same. Even going back to before I was 17 didn't change the present. Finally, I realized that the man was my future self. I used the watch to go to the future, and saw him sitting there, his eyes old and tired. I said, "You don't need to hide your face, because I know who you are." He slowly took off the scarf. It was indeed my older self. I asked, Why have I gone back so many times to fix my mistakes, but I'm still a prisoner? He was silent for a moment, then sighed, and told me many things. I returned to the present, exhausted. I decided to go back to when I was 33, to give the watch to my younger self. Later, when I was over 60, my 43-year-old self came to find me. He said, "I know who you are, so no need to hide." I took off the scarf. He asked, "Why can't I change the outcome?" I gently said to him, "Traveling to the past to change your own present is impossible. If you went back to your 20-year-old self to fix the mistakes so you wouldn't go to prison, then where is the reason for your present self to go back in the first place? Because if your 20-year-old self was saved, you wouldn't be in prison, so what reason would you have to go back? Without a reason to go back, your past self must still fail. Sai Laji Sai, it cannot be fixed. We just have to live better and not make mistakes again. Live well, help society, and help your family. This is the true way to fix a mistake. Do you understand? Now go back to your present and stop trying to change the past. It's useless. Listen to me. The old man let out a long breath, his voice trembling. You didn't go back to the past to fix your mistake. You went back because you couldn't accept that you were wrong. But the truth is, there are wounds that cannot be erased. There are choices that are only allowed once. Time doesn't give us the chance to redo. It only gives us the chance to understand. If you keep running toward the past, you will remain trapped inside your own mistake. If you want to escape the loop, stop going back. Move forward. If this story touched you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next chapter of this journey. Every new story might change the way you see time, and maybe even yourself. See you in the next episode.